Now practice set 6.5. First question, observe the following frequency polygons and write the answers of the question given below it. So this is a graph given over here and you have to observe this graph and answer the question which is given below that. Now on the graph, on the x-axis is the class, that is 20 to 30 is the first one, 30 to 40 is the second, 40 to 50 is the third, and so on. And on the y-axis the number of students are given. Class mark. Now if you see the coordinates, coordinates of the points given in the bracket, the first one is a class mark and the second one is a number of students, that is 35 is a class mark and 20 is a number of students. Now what is 35? That is class mark. That between 20 and 30 is 25 class mark, between 30 and 40 is the 35 class mark. So class mark comes between the two numbers, that is 20 and 30. The middle number is what? 25. So that will be the class mark. Between 30 and 40, which is the middle number? 35. So 35 will be the class mark. Similarly, 45 is a class mark, 40 is a number of students, 55 is a class mark, 50 is a number of students, 65 is a class mark, 60 is a number of students, 75 is a class mark, 35 is a number of students, 35 is a class mark, 15 is a number of students. Now there are two more plottings on the x-axis. One is this one point you can see over here, the other point you can see over here. Here the class mark is what? Between 20 and 30, 25. And what is the number of students? 0. Over here also between 90 and 100, 95 is a class mark, and what is the middle number? Class mark is 95, and what is the number of students? 0. So frequency over here in both this class is 0 frequency. So over here also it is 0 frequency, over here also it is 0 frequency. Now the first question, which class has a maximum number of students? So if you observe the graph, you will see the maximum of number of students over here is 60. It comes under which class? Not class mark, they have asked class. So 60 comes under which class? 60 and 70. So class is what? 60 and 70. So the first question, answer of the first question, the class 60-70 has the maximum number of students. Next question, write the classes having 0 frequency. Write the classes having 0 frequency, which I had discussed just now. The class which has 0 frequency is over here, that is this one and this one. So this 0 frequency comes under which class? 20-30, and this 0 frequency comes under which class? 90-100. So the answer is what? The classes 20-30 and 90-100 have frequency 0. So the classes 20-30 and 90-100 have frequency 0. Next, what is the class mark? What is the class mark of the class having frequency 50 students? So if you observe here, 50 students is over here, and second coordinate, the point which is given in the second coordinate point is number of students. So 50 students, what is the class mark? 55. So the class mark of class having 50 students is what? 55. We can also find out the class mark this way also. 50 students, over here it is the point, so 50 students come between 50 and 60. Class is what? 50 and 60. So if you add them also, you get 50 plus 60 upon 2, that's equal to 110 upon 2, that's equal to 55. Or you can observe directly from the graph and write it down. So class mark is what? You have to add the lower class limit and the upper class limit. The lower class limit and the upper class limit, and then divided by 2 also, you get the class mark. Now the next question, fourth one, write the lower and upper class limits of the class whose class mark is 85. So you have to write down the lower class limit and the upper class limit of the class mark 85. So if you observe the graph, where is 85? 85 is here. 85 comes between which, it comes in which class? 80-90. So 85 किसके बीच में आता है? 80 और 90 के बीच में आता है. तो लोअर क्लास लिमिट क्या हो गया? 80 और अपर क्लास लिमिट क्या हुआ? 90. So the lower class limit is 80. So the lower and upper class limit of the class having class mark 85 are 80 and 90. So the lower class limit is 80 and the upper class limit is 90. Now the next question, how many students are in the class 80 to 90? So how many students are there in class 80 to 90? So this is 80 to 90. If you observe, how many students are there? Second number shows the number of students, that is 15. So number of students is how much? 15. So there are 15 students in the class 80 to 90. Now sum number 2 of practice set 6.5, we have to plot a frequency polygon. So in order to draw frequency polygon banane ke liye we have to take two additional class, one in the preceding the first one and one after the last one. तो इसमें दो additional class लेना पड़ता है, एक तो पहला वाला से पहला क्लास से उसके पहला एडिशनल क्लास लेने का और लास्ट वाले के बाद एक एडिशनल क्लास लेने का. इसमें डिफरेंस कितना है? 200 का डिफरेंस है, तो यहाँ पे भी 200 का डिफरेंस लेना चाहिए. 0 से पहले हमेशा नेगेटिव रहता है, तो ये -200 till 0. So you have to take one class preceding the first one and one class after the last one. Now the last one will take extra from 1000 to 1200. So these are the two classes which we have to take extra in plotting frequency polygon, and the frequency of the remaining class is already given. This one, this and this, and the first and the last one is not given, rest all is given in the question. So the frequency of this will be what? 0, and the frequency of this will be what? 0. So the one additional class which you have taken in the first and the last, the frequency of that will always be in all the sums 0 only. Now this you have to plot on the y-axis, and this you won't be plotting on the x-axis. x-axis में ये नहीं plot करने का, क्या plot करने का? class mark plot करने का. तो class mark कैसे ढूंढता है? इन दोनों को add करके divide by 2. So when you add this, you will get -200 divided by 2 will be what? -100. This will be what? +100. This will be 300. This will be 500, and this will be 700, 900, and this will be 1100. So the coordinate which you will be plotting on the graph is what? -100 and 0. Next one will be 100 and 240. That means on the x-axis you will see -100, on y-axis it will be 0, on x-axis 100 and y-axis 240, and so on. So this will be 300 and 300. Next one will be 500, 450. Next one will be 700 and 350. Next one will be 900 and 160, and the next one will be 1100 and 0. So the first one and the last one will be the additional one. Frequency of the first and the last will always be 0. So this is how you are supposed to draw the table for frequency polygon. You have to find out the class mark and the coordinates of the points. Now we will plot this on the graph paper. Now exercise practice set 6.5, we have to draw frequency polygon. Now I had shown on the board that we have to take two extra. Class mark is drawn, plotted on the x-axis, and the frequency is plotted on the y-axis, and we have to take two extra class. One which is preceding the first class, that is preceding, this was the first class, and one we have to take extra preceding the first class, and one we have to take succeeding the last class. This was the last class, so we have taken one extra last class after the last class. So one we have to take extra before the first class, and one we have to take extra after the last class, and the frequency of the first and the last which we have taken extra is both of them is what? 0, and coordinates are what? Which we have to plot. Class mark is taken as the x coordinate and frequency is taken as the y coordinate, which I have already explained on the board. Now we will plot. Now what is the first one? -100 and 0. So -100 and 0 will come over here. So x-axis is electricity bill, that is a class mark, and number of families on the y-axis, that is frequency. On x-axis I have taken 2 centimeter is equal to 200 rupees because electricity bill is given in rupees. So 200 rupees. Difference between 300 and 100 is how much? 200. So on x-axis 2 centimeter is equal to 200 rupees. On y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to how much? 50. The differences of each of them is how much? 50. So 50 families. Now in order to draw the frequency polygon, the first one is what? Minus 100 and 0. So minus 100 and 0. So minus 100 and 0 will come over here. Next one is what? 100 and 240. So 100 and 240. 250 is here. So 240 will be just below that 2. So here will be 240. So write down over there the coordinates, that is 240, 100 and 240. 100, 240. Next one is what? 300 and 300. Both are 300. So 300, 300 and 300. That will come over here. So 300, 300. Next one is what? 500, 450. 500 and 450. That will come over here. 500, 450. Next one is what? 700, 350. So 700 and 350 will come here. 700, 350. Next one is what? 900, 160. 900 and 150 is here. So 160 will be second line after that. So 900 and 160. The last one is what? 1100 and 0. So 1100 and 0 will come over here. 1100 and 0. Now you connect all these points. You have to connect it by drawing a straight line. So this is how we are supposed to draw frequency polygon. So in frequency polygon we have to take one class before the first class and one class after the last class, and both you have to plot it. It should be connected, the frequency polygon should be connected to the x-axis. And over here on x-axis we take class mark. You know how to find out class mark by adding this 2 and dividing it by 2. Now the third sum, the following table shows a classification of percentage of marks of the students, and the number of students is also given, and we have to draw the frequency polygon from this table. So the just now I told you have to find out the additional class just before the first one. So difference between them is what? 10. So this will be 20 to 30. And the last one, one additional class also we have to take after the last one. So what will be the next one? 100 to 110. Now this will be the frequency. The frequency of the first one which we have taken additional will be 0, and the last one which we have taken, that also will be 0. Now we have to find out the class mark. So this will be 20 plus 30, 50. 50 divided by 2 will be 25. Next will be 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95 and 105. So this you will mark it on the x-axis, and this you will mark on the y-axis. So the coordinates are what? 25 and 0. Next is what? 35 and 7. Next is what? 45 and 33. Next is what? 55 and 45. Next one is 65, 65. Next one is 75, 47. Next one is 85, 18. Next one is 95, 5. And the last one is 105 and 0. Now we will draw the frequency polygon in the graph book. Now third sum of practice set 6.5. The following table shows the classification of the percentage of marks of students and the number of students. We have to draw frequency polygon from the table. So the 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60 is a result in percentage. It is already given in continuous form and it is continuous, so we don't have to change that. Now class mark is what? Like the previous sum only, we have to find out one class before the first class and one class below the last class. So this is, it starts from 30 to 40, so I have taken 120 to 30 extra, and it ends in 90 to 100, so I have taken one extra after 100, that is 100 to 110. You have to find out the class mark and the coordinates of the points. Class mark is what? 25, 35, 45 and so on. So on x-axis I have taken 25, 35, 45, that is a class mark, that is result percentage. So on x-axis 2 centimeters, so difference between 35 and 25 is how much? 10. So 2 centimeters is equal to 10%, and on y-axis the number of students 1 centimeter is equal to 5 students. So on y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 5 students. Now plot the points on the graph. Now the first one is 25 to 0, so it will come here. 25 and 0. Next one is 35, 7. So 35 and 7. 7 will come here. The fourth number will be 7. So this is 35, 7. Next one is 45, 33. 45 and 33. This is 30. So 33 will be how much? The sixth one. (45) and 33. Next one is how much? 55, 45. So 55 and 45. So it will come here. 55 and 45. Next one is what? 65, 65. 65, 65. So 65 and 65, that is here. 65, 65. Next one is what? 75, 47. So 75, 45, 47 will be the fourth line. So 75 and 47. Next one is what? 85 and 18. So 85 and 18. This is 15. 18 is a sixth line. So 85 and 18. Next one is what? 95 and 5. So 95 and 5 will come here. 95 and 5. And the last one is 105 and 0. So that is over here. 105 and 0. Now join all the points. So this little slight mistake I have made over here. So this is your frequency polygon of sum number 3. Now problem set 6. Sum number 9 of problem set 6 is connected to practice set 6.4. We have to draw histogram. Now sum number 10, it is connected to practice set 6.5. Here we have to draw frequency polygon. Sum number 11, you have to draw both histogram and frequency polygon. So it is connected to both practice set 6.4 and 6.5. Why? Because we have to draw both histogram and frequency polygon. And sum number 12 and sum number 13 is both connected to 6.5. Practice set 6.5. Both sum number 12 and sum number 13 we have to draw frequency polygon. So sum number 9 we have to draw histogram. So it is connected to practice set 6.4. Sum number 10 it is connected to practice set 6.5 because we have to draw frequency polygon. And sum number 11 they have asked both to draw histogram as well as frequency polygon. So histogram is of 6.4 practice set and frequency polygon is of 6.5 practice set. Sum number 12 and sum number 13 they have asked to draw frequency polygon. So it is connected to practice set 6.5. Now sum number 11, the time required for students to do a science experiment and the number of students is shown in the following group frequency table, that is this table. Show the information by histogram and also by a frequency polygon. So we have to draw both histogram and frequency polygon. Time required for experiment in minutes is given 20 to 22, 22 to 24, 24 to 26 and so on, and number of students who took this much minutes to complete the experiment is 8 students to complete within 20 to 22 minutes and so on. So we have to draw histogram and also frequency polygon. So we have to take one extra. It starts from 20 to 20, 20 to 22. So before this what will come? 18 to 20. So one extra you have to take, that is 18 to 20, and afterwards you have to take 32 to 34. So one extra afterwards, one class. तो एक क्लास लास्ट क्लास के बाद में लेने का, दैट इज़ 32 to 34, और एक क्लास फर्स्ट क्लास के पहले लेने का, दैट इज़ 18 to 20. सो जैसा फ्रीक्वेंसी पॉलीगॉन में करता है. अगर यहाँ पे हिस्टोग्राम और फ्रीक्वेंसी पॉलीगॉन दोनों बनाना है तो वी विल ड्रॉ ओनली फ्रीक्वेंसी पॉलीगॉन. सो दे हैव गिवन व्हाट, फर्स्ट वन 20 to 22 इज़ व्हाट 8. 20 to 22 is what? 8. So 20 to 22 we will draw till 8. So draw histogram. पहले histogram बनाना. Then next one is what? 20 to 24, 16. So 20 to 24 is what? 16. So on 16 you will draw. Then next one is what? 24 to 26 is 22. So on 22 you will draw the next one, that is over here. Next one is 26 to 28. 26 to 28 is what? 18. So 26 to 28 is what? 18. Over here it is. Next one is what? 28 to 30 is 14. So 28 to 13 is 14. Next one, 30 to 32 is what? 12. So we will draw the next one, that is 12. Now this was the histogram. तो ये हो गया हिस्टोग्राम बनाया हुआ. अभी इसमें फ्रीक्वेंसी पॉलीगॉन कैसे करने का? जो मिडल पॉइंट है, यू हैव टू टेक दैट. टेक ऑल द मिडल पॉइंट्स. दिस मिडल पॉइंट, that is a class mark. So the middle of this histogram is the class mark. So this is the, take all the midpoint of each histogram, and the, just like in frequency polygon, we have to take one class before the first class and one class after the last class. So one class before the first one is what, 18 to 20. So take the middle of that also. Next, the last one is what, 30 to 32. So after that one more class we have taken 30 to 34. So take the midpoint of that also. So in order to draw a frequency polygon and a histogram, it is very simple. First you have to draw the histogram and take all the midpoints of the histogram, mark all the midpoints, and a class before the first one, take the midpoint of that also, and a class after the last class, take the midpoint of that also, next succeeding one, and connect all of them. So this is how we have to draw frequency polygon and histogram. First you will draw histogram, then you will draw frequency polygon. So histogram and frequency polygon you have to draw this way. Scale I have taken on x-axis 1 centimeter. So difference between them, 20 minus 18 is how much? 2 minutes. So on x-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 2 minutes, and on y-axis we have taken 1 centimeter is equal to how much? 2 students. So on y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 2 students.